Lauren. Go ahead and do a squat. Ugh.
Feels
No.
great. No.
No, that's not good squat. We're going to go over good squat technique today, mechanics. So first of all, we're going to go back to the TRX and show her, this is where I usually start people off to work on their mechanics for squats. I'll show you first and then you can try. So the first thing for a squat is hip hinge. Not the knees, you don't sink down quite yet.
Just very loud.
So we're gonna hip hinge back first. Go down slowly, keeping the chest up. And then the knees naturally follow. Hip hinge, and then knee bend.
So my knees don't go past my toes?
Correct. Knees don't go past your toes. And then when you're coming up, after you get to parallel, unless you really need to, there's no reason to go past parallel. You're gonna go the opposite. Knee bend and then hip hinge. Hip hinge, knee bend, knees, and then hip. Good?
Yes.
So Lauren, go ahead and review that.
There we go. How far apart?
Shoulder length apart for the feet. If they're any wider or narrower, it's going to throw off all of the mechanics. If your feet are too wide, if you feel like they need to go wider, that means you don't have the hip mobility, and you need to see your physical therapist for that. So go ahead and Lauren.
You got the hips, my knees, and about parallel.
Perfect. Yep. And go ahead and go back up. Perfect. Then I'll progress to a chair squat. And as we're walking here, typically, even if you have arthritis in the knees, typically you can still try to do squats, but I would see your physical therapist before you do that and make sure you're doing it correctly. Because I have surprised some people with knee arthritis because they can now do squats pain-free because they're actually doing them correctly. But you also want to make sure you have the basic strength in your quads, hamstrings, glutes, that those muscles are performing correctly for it. Okay, so let's go to the squat. Feet out a little bit this way towards me.
Okay.
Good. Yep. Good. Keep the chest up. If you need to, look up a little bit and go ahead and go into that squat now. So you want to tap your butt back to the chair.
Ooh, it's far.
And if people need to, I'll tell them to just sit back into it. If they can't control it quite yet. Good. And maybe feet back just a tad. You're good. Good. And now sit that bottom back. Good. And work towards just a tap. And then once you can just tap it instead of sitting back.
Just tap. Oh, let's just go on.
And make sure your knees don't collapse in there, Lauren. You want the knees straight, alignment, not coming past the toes or coming in. So once that gets better, then you can do, good.
That's
Once you improve, can just do the tap, then you can just do straight on, and then just do a straight squat like this. And then as you can, work on that depth, lower and lower, and come back up. Perfect. So message us if you have any questions, comments, and any ideas for next week. Thanks guys. Have a great rest of your week. Happy 4th of July.
Yay.